Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. So to those of you who are new or returning, you're watching Plum Bob Diaries with MJ. And today we're back in my little series, the Memory Lane series, where I take a look down memory lane and show you guys my old builds, and we tour the build as I reminisce and tell you guys all the lore and the thinking behind what I built. So today's build is in Del Sol Valley, as you can tell from the background. Let me hop back into the game. So yeah, Del Sol Valley, it's one of my favorite worlds in the game. I absolutely love Del Sol Valley down. If I get out of tab mode, I'm gonna ooh, wow, this is a good view. This is, yeah, just a gorgeous world. It's like a mixture of, suburban homes, plus you get all of this commercial district. And I like worlds like this. I want to say another close one to this is Evergreen Harbor. And of course, I love San Sequoia Down. But yeah, being someone who's from Chicago and Indiana, like I love seeing stuff like this. But anyway, today's build is over here. If you guys have noticed, this is the neighborhood of Mirage Park in Del Sol Valley. For those of you who don't know, Del Sol Valley is the world that came with Get Famous, which allows your Sims to rise to fame. And it's one of my favorite worlds. The downside is that, as you can see, it comes with 1, 2, and 3 lots only. Just 3 in this neighborhood. And I've gotten spoiled with the other packs that give you 4 to 5 lots in a neighborhood. And even still, I think that's not enough, because I'm someone who's a storyteller. I'm for all the storytelling. I watch Let's Plays that are storytelling based, and I want more lots for more families, for friends, for rivals, for all the dynamics I can put into place. So Del Sol Valley, though I love it down, I wanted more households in this neighborhood in particular. We're really all on the map. I wanted more neighborhoods and more households, period. But thank you to the pack that is for rent that came in 2023. None of us knew this was coming, and it gave us the ability to make apartment building complexes, as well as, any multi-unit sort of housing. And so I decided to put like a little California inspired apartment complex. So I'm so happy about this. I know people before, like all of us simmers, gamers, before The Sims 4 for Rent came out, all of us would build on this lot. And it'd be like 3 houses on lot, and we could not do anything with it. We make apartments, and we could pretend. But now we were able to do the real thing. So I'm gonna give you guys a tour of this. Let me give a little plug real quick. So what you are about to see, it is a lot called the Mirage Park Dunes. It is inspired by the dunes in California, which is a real apartment complex. I've never been there. I've seen like footage of apartments in film and TV shows that are inspired by. So think of this as inspired by the real dunes in California. And I just named it Mirage Park Dunes because we are in the neighborhood of Mirage Park. So I thought that was pretty clever. And this will be really cool if you're the type of person, gamer, simmer, that's wants to live out that California inspired rise to fame kind of story. Or if you're just a storyteller in general and you just love this neighborhood as much as I love this neighborhood, I think this would be really great. Especially if you want that really rough, edgy aesthetic of like, because I'm someone, I've come from a background of like poor to low income houses. And when I see it in the game, like it's pretty cool to see and relate to like my Sims and tell the story of their come up. So I really like doing that often. All right, so before we get into the build itself, guys, I gotta let you know, this is a 50 by 40 lot that you're about to see. Again, it's called the Mirage Park Dunes, and you can find this on my gallery, Mars Attack 12. Now, I've uploaded this unit twice. Once as just a residential lot, because I'm not sure if you have for rent or if you want to use it for rent capabilities. You don't have to if you don't want to. So there is a version that is just solely residential, and then there's another version that is a residential rental, which is the lot type that comes with for rent. Also, if you don't know, when you plop this lot down, if you are plopping it down as a residential rental, you need to change the lot itself first before you can place it from the gallery. You need to go here and change it to residential rental, and then you can go into the gallery and plop it down. If you're just plopping it as just a basic residential, then you are fine to use the default. All right, so I've got some goodies for you. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so as you can see, I got that classic facade of an apartment complex that's mid-century style. And we also got a parking lot. Now, mind you, I made this for the for rent pack, and I did it before the for rent pack, well, before I actually had the for rent pack. So what happened was I had seen footage. Of course, I'm a gamer, I'm a simmer. I love watching other YouTubers and other simmers that play the game. So I think the EA Game Changers had already launched like their videos of for rent and how it works and what to expect, and they showed off the mechanics and the necessary items you needed in the build in order to get the events and whatnot. I'm rambling too much, but basically what that means is just I put everything into play here so that we could see all of the cool events that take place. So the reason why there's so much space in the parking lot is because, one, this is a really huge lot. It's just big for no reason, but hey, I made use of that. We get the hopscotch gaming little, what do you call them? They're like little chalk drawings. You can actually put that down here and have your kids playing out front. We of course got the mailboxes. I know you only need one, but if you want to swap this out for the for rent ones, you can, or you could just leave them like this, but you will get that gameplay of your neighbors coming down to the mailbox, checking the mail, getting those free coupons out of there. So cool. Over here we have just a lot for your Sims to do. So here's a sneak peek of the back area. We've got this little basketball hoop. I love that. I always felt like a hoop was perfect for Del Sol Valley. I know it launched with City Living, but if the Sims team would have been like, you know what, we just gonna give y'all a hoop in the alleyway, that would have been so true. So true to not only like urban areas like this. Like, it's very common to find a hoop in an alleyway, especially where I'm from. Like, you could find a hoop in the street, just in the middle of the cul-de-sac, or the middle of the, you know, just up the block. There's literally a hoop up the street for me, and the kids are there like all the time. So Sims team, if you want to update Del Sol Valley, you could just put a hoop in one of the alleyways. So anyway, as far as shared spaces in the for rent pack, you have these cool challenges that are maintenance trouble challenges. So by default, I'm gonna show you this little hut here. I made this little hut specifically because you get these two items. The electrical box, let me show you. Electrical fuse box. So this is the fuse box that comes with the for rent pack. As you can see in this version that I have, I'm showing you the residential lot version before I had the for rent pack. It does not come with the fuse box. It comes with like the default clutter, but again, I made it in preparation of for rent, so you could put it here if you download the residential version. If you download the residential rental version, it will already have the fuse box in here, as well as the water heater. So if I go here, and if you're wondering, what are you talking about? What do these things do? It is so cool. So I've placed a water heater in this little corner here. Don't worry about the red. In the version that you guys will get in the residential rental version, it's already there. The only reason I'm touring this in residential is because I don't have to worry about the expanded menu and the outlines. So it's just easier for a build tour. But yeah, why am I showing you guys an electrical box and a water heater? I will tell you why, because these are such cool items because they allow you to have diverse gameplay. Now, if we look at the lot challenges, here we go. This came with the for rent pack, maintenance troubles. By default, it comes on all residential rentals. All it means is that you're going to have some issues on your lot as it comes to maintaining it. You're going to have electrical failures, going to have like gas leaks, what is it called? Plant blights, garden blights, or stuff like that. You're going to have... there's an event where the pool is filled with like algae and you have to clean it up. So, yeah. Things that I find fun in the game. So I really like that idea, and I want to make sure that you guys can experience that. So yeah, you can expect that in the lot that you download. Also, let's get into the actual units themselves. So as you can see, classic style mid-century modern apartment complex. We use the doors from Del Sol Valley, the actual Get Famous expansion pack, and they're so fitting for here. I'm going to take you through the tour unit by unit. So our first unit right here, first of 6 units by the way, and they're all different in terms of personality, but their layouts are all the same. So through the first unit, let me put the camera down lower so we can have a cinematic experience. All right, this is our first unit, and it's the unit that I like to think of as the nicest unit because this unit takes the modern approach. Like, it's been fully renovated. It's one of those. So if you from where I'm from, like if you've been in Chicago a while, like you know that you'll get these old historic or retro buildings, and then some of them have been renovated, and you'll go inside and you'll go like, I would never have expected this inside from the way that it looks on the outside. But anyway, I made this as realistic as I could get, and using the items that actually come with the game. I'm not a CC user. I used to love CC back in the day in The Sims 3. On The Sims Resource, I would go all out. But in The Sims 4, you know what? Yeah, I don't go through all that CC anymore. It's a lot. But I think that in this time and age of The Sims 4, there's so much in the game that you really don't need it, you know? So if you have CC, that's a good preference if you just enjoy it. But you know what? I made some outstanding builds with just what comes with these games DLC. So anyway, this is our modern apartment with this modern aesthetic. Again, it has, like, as you could tell from the walls, we have this beautiful wall feature which is very modern, but the rest of it with just this paint job and the trim, that's very basic, and that's something that you'll see throughout all of the other apartment units. But yeah, let me share a little bit of what we got going on here. We got these cool beautiful couches, which are what I like to call Art Deco inspired couches from high school years. We paired it with the base game rug, and these little bookshelves that came with the book nook kit. So I love that. And then we, you know, of course, put some nice like shading over the windows. Each one of the units comes with this air conditioning unit. I thought it was a cool touch of realism. Again, I did not have the for rent pack when I made the build. Later, when I did have the for rent pack, I went back and updated each one of these apartment units with different assets and whatnot. But this one in particular, I really like the Strangerville unit, and though it's not functional like the for rent one, technically you can still use it just like an AC, like a functional AC, if you have the Seasons pack, which I have already done. Put thermostats in all of the units, so really love that. And I be thinking of y'all, I be thinking of gameplay, and I be trying to get the most out of our Sims DLC. So yeah, get into it. We got the little office area over here, slash, shared computer space. Now, in this build, I pictured a couple being here, or maybe like a solo sim. Maybe they're a freelancer, but whatever they do, they make a lot of money because it's nice in here. And even if you want to play out that bougie, like this is the landlord's unit, you could do that too. I didn't picture the landlord staying here, but hey, it is a good storyline. Over here is like our peekaboo drive-through kitchen. I really love these. All of the units have these in some sort of capability or way. This is a light fixture that came with Snowy Escape, so it's beautiful, it's stunning, and I really like it there. We use Home Chef Hustle because at the time, again, it was 2023. Home Chef Hustle had just came out, and I was loving it down, and it just was perfect for this modern renovation in this unit. And again, I just got a simple two-seater table here because I picture a single sim being here. Now, of course, if you download this slot and you want to live in this unit, you can adapt it to however you see fit. And of course, we've got our back door that leads to the shared space. So the shared space is enclosed within this yard. It's really not a yard because there's no grass here, but hey, you got this community pool which all of the residents can share, and then all of these little back spaces are by the other residents and tenants, and y'all can come out. Y'all can throw a keg party if you want to drink. Like, I picture that, backyard party kind of vibes. Like, if you're on the regular, you could get yourself a drink from the cooler, sit down, chill, listen to some music, throw something on the grill, play some cards. It's a good vibe. But yeah, that's what I picture. So you could just engross yourself in some gameplay, or tell yourself a story. I think I even watched like a fellow simmer. They did like a backyard party, and it was really cool because they had like a bunch of family there, and I would say they were even in Del Sol Valley too. So I love seeing what y'all do in Del Sol Valley. Literally, again, it's one of the best worlds. So this is the primary bedroom here. And as you can see, it's very spacious. We use actually the whole set that came with high school years. Very beautiful. Put this little chair here that came with growing together. Use the high school years curtains. Again, we made this build modern, and I'm glad we didn't go overly modern. We didn't outdo it. We literally made it look like it's an updated, renovated apartment with a fresh paint job and new fixtures. So I love that. Love that, love that, love that. Hopefully you guys can hear over the music that plays in build mode, because I try not to allow that to be too distracting. And then here is our updated modern restroom slash bathroom. Beautiful. Of course, we use Growing Together's fixtures. So we got Growing Together tile and the Home Chef Hustle counters. We got the Growing Together bathroom wallpaper, the shower tub combo. Beautiful. One of my favorites. I think somebody was looking at Pinterest when they made this, because this is stunning. I love that we've gotten more updates for the game with stuff like this in 2025, with life and death and businesses and hobbies. And I think there's like a kit that someone did. Was it Peacemaker who made a bathroom kit, and it was like a luxurious bathroom? All that's so good. So anyway, here's the other room, and it is empty because I figure if you live here, again, it's a single sim or a couple that lives here, you might want to have a baby, or you might want to use this as a hobby room slash work room, whatever you're into. You have that ability and convenience. But yeah, that is the first unit, y'all. Tell me what you think about this first unit in the comments down below. I want to hear your thoughts, and if you plan on downloading the lot. So yeah, all right, so that is unit number 1, and we're gonna move on to unit number 2. This is so nice. And as you can see, there are cars parked outside. So I tried to put cars here that kind of reflected the personalities that I envisioned for the Sims of each unit. So as you can see, the modern cars, I took it as like whoever lives in the modern apartment has these like nice, they got a high car note. Because again, this is Del Sol Valley Mirage Park. This is the starter neighborhood. So you ain't got money if you live in this neighborhood, but or you could if you just really love, if you're playing the storyline of like, you love Del Sol Valley Mirage Park and you made the come up but decided to stay here. I don't see who would, but if you want to play up that storyline, it is available to you. All right, but yeah, all of these all of these reflect who's in the actual build. This one is a minivan because I wanted to make a family apartment, something more fitting for a family that was already established with maybe multiple kids. So let's take a look. In this unit, we have what I like to think of as the average apartment. So it's probably, was made or renovated in the 2000s. Let me correct myself, y'all. This whole building is a mid-century themed building. So the exterior wise, like everything looks like it's been made in the 60s. And I like to think of it as having been updated or renovated throughout the years. So what you just saw was like a modern renovation, which will most likely be, at the time that I made this, a 2023 renovation. Now, what you see in front of you, this unit looks like it could be like a 2000s renovation, or even 2000 to 2006, anywhere in between them there. So, and again, we went for a neutral palette. We chose all beige. Even with the window fixtures, we've got like just basic shades over here in like a tan color. Again, we got the AC unit. Excuse me, I'm sniffing. We got the AC unit over here, and we put the temperature, the thermostat over here, so you can change the temperature, so you can have that gameplay. Because if you have that season's thermostat, you really don't need the for rent AC unless you just like seeing the effect. But yeah, really dope. Love this. And then we use the built-ins, which are very popular in the 2000s, of like these wood built-ins for placing down the TV. Before, we had a lot of wall-mounted items for TV options. This is what we had, TV stands, somewhere to sit the TV on. And then we got this cool little stereo over here, and again we got this little peekaboo kitchen. It's like a peekaboo drive-through kitchen. Love that. I used the Parenthood counters as well as the chairs, and they match really well. Again, unlike the other unit over there, we just got like a rug combo. So we did choose a dated rug with some terracotta flooring, which I think is kind of like staple for Del Sol Valley, aka California. I think this is very common in a lot of homes and apartments over on that side. Very nice though. Very gorgeous. And yeah, I tried to go for like modest family apartment in here, and so this is what is reflected. So yeah, and then I just had a thing for circular tables at the time, just seeing a little family, and I guess the size of the table kind of helps too. As far as the space goes, it's a spacious kitchen, and all these kitchens were made in mind with having some table in there in the actual kitchen. So yeah, I really like that. And of course, you get access to the backyard just like all the rest of them. So the difference about this unit is that instead of 2 bedrooms, this is the family unit, you get 3 bedrooms. So the first bedroom is over on this side, and I like to think of this as the primary. So the adult Sims would come in here. As you can see, I did not, pre-furnish it, but you got enough room to fit a bed here and 2 nightstands on each side, which is all you need for a parent's room. And just, just for gameplay and convenience, I added an ensuite. So, because when you have multiple Sims in one house, it could get tricky when it comes to the bathroom situation. So I made sure to have an extra toilet for these family units. All right, so we're gonna head back out, and as you could tell from the doors, I used the mid-century style doors that came with Get Famous. In the other unit, I used the same doors, but they had been painted black, as per the update and renovation. But yeah, these are beautiful. So I'm gonna go through here, and basically I threw down some filler furniture for this unit. And this unit, yeah, it's so sizable, and that's the thing with these apartments that I'm showing you today. So a lot of the gameplay that I watched, being a fan of The Sims 4 and watching not only Game Changers, but just other Simmers who just enjoy the game, play the game, and record the game, they were running out of space like crazy when it came to these apartment units. They'd make these apartment units, or they'd download some units, and they'd be so tiny that you could barely fit anything in there. So I wanted to make sure that with these builds, you could, if you wanted to have an office space, you have that. If you wanted to have like a little craft table for whatever interest or hobby your sim is in, you have that ability. And again, this is sort of like the blank slate apartment, to where you could make this up to however you see fit. You could renovate the inside to, color it, paint it however you want to, and put the furniture you envision in here. So yeah, very nice. Love that. I love playing out property tour guide. It's fun. All right, so this is our restroom here, and as you can see, it has the same layout as the previous unit without the renovations, without all the updated cool stuff. So yeah, this is what I like to think of as like a 2000 style restroom. I love these granite countertops. These are beautiful. I wish the team made us more counter cabinetry sets with the granite on top. We have one that came with Home Chef Hustle. I believe there's a swatch or two that has that countertop, but I love it. I wish we had more in the game. And yeah, got the little medicine cabinet that came with Parenthood, and of course the regular basic toilet. Love it, love it, love it. All right. And then last but not least, the other room. Again, I left it blank for you to do with whatever you want to do it, because I don't know who you're living with. You might want to play out the story of multiple roommates in one unit, or maybe you got 2 kids in one room, or shoot, maybe you're just, you're playing with 2 siblings and they're trying to make it work and rise to fame in here. For whatever story you got going on, like, you can pretty much adjust these apartments to how you see fit. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. I feel like the music is so loud, so I wonder, can you change the music and build? Oh, whatever. I'm not going to distract you guys. Anyway, so the last unit on the bottom floor, again, I put the cars out here to kind of like reflect who would be here. And as you can see, it's just a black van. It's just a black van. This reminds me of Friday, because there's a scene in the movie Friday. If you don't know Friday, the rapper Ice Cube and the comedian Chris Tucker, they did a film together back in the 90s, and it's a staple. It's one of those staple films that are just hilarious, and they were hiding from a van that was rolling down the block. So anyway, I tried to put this van here to kind of imply or allude that this is a suspicious apartment. So again, I don't know what story you want to tell, and I wanted to make sure all the units kind of had these different personalities and aesthetics to reflect the type of gameplay you want to have. So maybe you want to be living that rough life. Maybe you want to have a rags to riches in Del Sol Valley, or you just want to play out somebody who's just stanky and janky and just like they don't really take care of themselves. You can have that. It's your world, it's your life. You can have whatever you want. So as you can see, I used debris from debug to kind of tell that story. But I really just wanted, and look at the AC, you could tell how old it is from here. So yeah. So here's the last unit at the bottom, at least on this level. So again, I wanted to tell the story of like a more roughed up, edgy apartment. So again, I don't know if you want to play out someone who's just broke, and this is all they could afford. They could afford the worst apartment in the unit, in the apartment complex. So this is what they could afford, maybe. For, and again, this is for rent. You could set your own prices for each unit. And I advise, if you're going to play with the for rent pack, make your own property managers, make your own landlords, because with that ability, if you have other landlords in your save file that own the place, you could set the rent for each unit for when you actually want to move in with your storyteller. I know that probably sounds like a lot of work for all of you who just want to jump in and play. If you don't care, fine. But if you do care and you set up your own let's plays and whatnot, or you're just that type of simmer who's like, yeah, I'll do that, I strongly urge you, yes, make your own property manager for your own world, or at least have at least one property manager that that you like to see all the time, that you feel reflects the aesthetic of the community that you're in. Because maybe you want a landlord that is janky and smelly and wants to come here to collect. You could set all these units for like $500 or less, $300 or less, however you see fit, if you want to play out that story. But yeah, anyway, so what I imagine for this unit, I imagine this is a unit, again, this whole building was made, it's a mid-century building, and so it's been made in the 60s, and it reflects that on the outside, but each unit has been renovated throughout the decades. So I imagine this still has 60s features in here, but some updates, some 90s updates, and then everything else has been like jankily put together. So as you can see, the different areas and zones on the house kind of reflect the lack of maintenance or care. So this is your dining area. And this is kind of laughable and funny compared to the other units. Yeah, you just got a single seat and a single chair. These are just pop-up items at that. So you just had to work with what you had. And you ain't even got no blinds on the windows. So you could tell this unit was the most challenging for the property manager to rent out. And also, I chose this old stanky janky couch from, is this City Living? So this is the City Living couch, which you can find at the flea market. As you can tell, it is stained. It is stained and worn and torn, and it looked like it smelled. And we added cracks on the wall, because maybe we want to imply that there had been some worn and some tear and whatever story. And then we had an old TV right here, and may or may not work. It depends on how you want to play. So, and then I got candles everywhere. So as you can tell, there are no light fixtures in here. Well, no, that's not even plugged into anything. So yeah, this story is that there's no electricity in this unit. You just got to work with what you got. You just got to light some candles and let that be. And then over here, as you could tell with this unit, the kitchen is different. Again, I said that they had the same layouts on the upper level. You could literally, all the units are reflected and they have the same layout. So this is just the end apartment. So that's why this layout is slightly different than the others. But yeah, there are no upper cabinets here. It's just not that sort of apartment complex apartment unit to where they have upper cabinets in here, because maybe they got taken out at one point and it was meant to be replaced but never did. We got the old janky stove that came with City Living. Oh my gosh, it's horrible in here. We got the rusty crusty chipped away cabinetry cabinets that came with it. And you know what's so crazy? These cabinets still exist today. You can rent out places where I'm at, in Chicago. Right now I'm in Indiana, but in Chicago and Indiana, there are still old janky places that exist that have not been renovated, in which they have worn cabinetry, and they look exactly like this. Now that is a shame to say, but it's real. It exists. If you want to play out that real life, you got it. And then we also got the old worn fridge to match. So yeah, there we go. And then we have a restroom in this apartment. So if you come on in here, as you can tell, this is a very underwhelming, lackluster restroom. Like I said, it kind of reflects that it's been here since the 60s. And real quick, this music is kind of like distracting. So I'm going to go to game options real quick. And I'm going to go to music. Oh, it's still up. I'm not sure. Is it the build mode? I guess is the... Okay. I'm going to just turn it down a little bit. Apply changes. Because I feel like I was kind of competing with the music. I usually don't give the full tour in build mode. A lot of times I'm in live mode. But since I had no tenants here, it made sense for me to do the tour in build mode. But yeah, I'm playing in an alternate save file where I just have builds, or designated them just for builds, compared to my story save file where, oh my gosh, I just noticed that if you're looking at what I just caught, again, I made this some years ago, so I'm noticing things that I forgot about. There's a mouse hole here. All right, and then yeah. So yeah, back to what I was talking about before I turned the music down. We got this renovated bathroom. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous in the sense that it is so tackily put together. So yeah, I think that they probably renovated this drywall. Maybe there was mold. This would be a perfect bathroom to play out that mold challenge. If you guys are for that, I know some people are like, I would never play that. But a lot of us find that mechanic very like fun to play with. I for one think it's very fun. I love it. So shout out to the dev who thought about it, because that's a cool aspect of gameplay. But yeah, very cool. Very cool, shanky bathroom. And last but not least, we have the bedroom. Now, this is a 1-bedroom apartment because, again, this is the end unit. It's basically the cheapest apartment in the complex. There are the end units. But yeah. So this would be, oh my gosh, it's so tacky in here. Yeah, as you can tell, we got some dirty walls, dirty chipped away walls, cracked baseboarding. I put a little sleeping bag in here. You can even play out the role of a squatter if you wanted to. And then we got the air mattress over there, which came with Eco Lifestyle. So yeah, this is the unit. And then you could get through the back of this apartment through the bedroom. Now that's not very common. And a lot of my builds, I usually don't put a back door in the bedroom, but for the layout of this particular unit, it made the most sense to access the back. So that's what we did. And yeah, they'd be the one to, you come out here to sit and, I picture a King of the Hill moment where you come out here and sit and chill and drink with your buddies. So yeah, I like that a lot. So alrighty, that has been the bottom level of our complex. So again, this is in Del Sol Valley, and it's called the Mirage Park Dunes, and you can find it on my gallery, Mars Attack 12. Now, we're going to take a look at the upper floor. Let me see. Did I go up there before? So on level 2, again, we got 3 more units to look at. So this unit is another one of my favorites. Because I got quite a few favorites in this build. But this unit in particular, I like to think of as another, like, family style unit, though it is a replica of the 2-bedroom layout. So you get 2 bedrooms in this unit, and it is retro themed. So again, from the 60s, this has been renovated to an 80s update, and it hasn't been updated since. So let's take a look. Voila! This is our 80s style apartment. So, if you guys have seen my other video of my stuck in the 80s suburban, it was a build tour of an 80s, what did I say? Like American home style build, and it was basically based off the sitcom Married with Children. But yeah, it had all these 80s like fixtures and details, and I thought, why not call back to that, but in an apartment style? So that's what we've done here. So if you could, as you could tell, everything is old in here. Everything is old, and everything is of the 80s style. So we got outdated carpet, and it's blue at that. It's a little dirty. It's a little bit. Well, it's old, but you could tell this has like a little bit of a stench, right? It's not a it's not a bad odor. It's just one of those old odors. But yeah, use this big plaid couch that came with High School Years. I think this big plaid couch is definitely a staple of the 80s, as well as just couches with skirts at the bottom. So as you could tell by the armchair, there's a skirt at the bottom, and that was something that was very common. We still stuck with the AC unit. Not sure if they had any that were like this in the 80s, but we pulled it off. We do got the vertical blinds that makes another return in this 80s apartment. Yeah, so you'll see a lot of the same fixtures that I've done for that build in here being applied, as well as this little TV dinner pull-out table. So as you know, I found this hack that I did to make this little seat happen in The Sims. So this is an actual dining table, but it's just small enough to look like one of those little, well, actually this does not look like a pull-out table, but it's small enough for you to actually dine on. So I tried to make it look like a Sim just pulled out an extra table that they have just to watch TV and, eat. And you can actually do that because this is an actual dining table, and this is an actual dining chair. Like, I didn't have to use a cheat to get that chair to slot to that. It's literally working as it should. But because this particular chair has a cover on it and has a skirt, it looks like a living room chair when it's not. It's an actual dining chair. So now you can really have that gameplay. If you really want to eat on here and watch TV, you could. You just got to take this clutter piece off. But yeah, so that is our little living room space. And over here we still got the peekaboo drive-through kitchen cabinets. So what I like to think of this unit is that the original cabinets to this build were still here and they've been kept here, so, or at least the layout of the original cabinets, because I can picture, it probably had like a metal or like linoleum sort of material in the 50s or 60s. I want to say this was made in the 60s, but the 80s renovation probably allowed for these little oak wood cabinetry sets to be put in. But I love how you can like peekaboo, like just look underneath the upper cabinet and see right through. So cool. And then you got this, again, it's literally a bar setup, so you got the little bar stools here, which actually makes room for more seating. So I love that. If you want to play out like, oh, you know, your aunt lives here and you're visiting, or maybe you're playing the storyline of like, oh, I'm you know, I'm staying here with my aunt until I go to school. Or my, you know, wait, would you be seeing on in the thumbnails of a lot of YouTubers like, oh, this is an uncle raising niece, or this is the grandparent raising the son. Da da da. So anyway, whatever storyline you want to play out, it is here. I just basically made a retro style apartment build for a very old person that still lives in this old style and didn't think about updating. Like, they have everything that they need, they meet the essentials, they're fine. But yeah, this is the kitchen, and again, it's our retro kitchen. I put a TV on the counter because that was a staple of these old 80s homes, and then again, we kept it going with that retro nostalgic look with the terracotta flooring, and we got rattan chairs over here and a glass table. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, love that. And this is the first unit you're seeing on the upper level, and they all have access to a balcony. Cuz I thought, oh, it sucks that they can't just go right out the door like the bottom level units. So, my fix for that was to give them their own personal space in the balcony form. So that's what I did. You could come out here, and this is a huge balcony. As you could tell, this spans uh, quite a distance. And yeah, you can have a little party on the back porch if you want to. You can have your little garden if you want to. Come out here, sip some tea, watch the neighbors go crazy in the pool or argue, whatever it is. So yeah, very, very nice. And this unit, like I said, it's the same layout as downstairs. It actually comes with 2 bedrooms. So, just like before, we got a bedroom over here, which I have left empty because I don't know what storyline you want to play up. And you can just have fun finishing it yourself. Like, I usually have fun doing that. Like, if I'm going to download, I'm a builder myself. So, I like to build my own things, yes. But in the times where I just don't feel like building, sometimes I just feel like decorating. And it's always good to find a nice little shell that's pre-built with the plumbing and kitchen installed, and all you gotta do is just decorate. So I love those. And especially if you just want to play up a storyline where you decorate as you go. Like, you know, if you are playing someone that's like moved in with a family member, or, you know, I moved in with cousin Day Day and this is his apartment and I'm trying to get on my feet in Cali. That's a perfect storyline, and you could just, you know, play up making money to buy your own bed, buy your own furniture. Maybe you want to get into music production, so you'll be saving up for the equipment. Whatever storyline you want to play up, I got you. And then we did the same fixtures in the restrooms. So again, it's the same layout as the bottom level apartment. We just, you know, put the 80s style fixtures in here because that's when this renovation happened. And got a nice little teal shower tub combo in here for you. All right, and last but not least, the primary bedroom for this unit is over here. And this is one of my favorites, actually. So as you probably remember, when I showed you guys my 80s suburban, where you actually could view like a whole house with multiple bedrooms that were 80s style, in this unit I furnished one of the bedrooms. And again, when I got the for rent pack, I went back and added a few things. In this version, the residential well, yeah, I went back and updated it. So in this residential version, as well as the residential rental version, I have a few clutter items that kind of add to the story of the sim that is here. So again, something about this room reminded me of Friday with Craig and his room, and how it's kind of slightly laid out, but we didn't see much of his room in the room tour. But something about the shoes on the floor, and like making this for a guy, and like of course we got these little modern fixtures over here of like having a hat holder. But we used the 80s style computer because again, this was a 80s build, so it made sense that an old computer would be in here. But yeah, I got hats and gym shoes to show that this guy is like into sports, and they love repping their city with their sports team or whatnot. And uh yeah, I love that. Got the headphones here to show that they like music, and they're even their little vinyl record. Like maybe that's something they did um, growing up, and they just continue to do it. So I love that. I got a little beanie bag because that's a classic staple as well, and a little bookcase that just. I like this one because it's a bookcase that doesn't look like a bookcase, and I thought it was very fitting for this room. But yeah, and of course, wall to what is it? Full ceiling. What is it? Floor to ceiling mirrors. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, it was a thing in the '80s, and I was like, I have to do this here, and it just, just made it chef's kiss in terms of the style of the apartment. So get into the retro living, yeah. I'm really down for that. Like, I love this. Please share your opinions in the comments about this unit. Let me know what you think of this 80s style unit and bedroom. Would love to know. And we're going to move on over to the other unit. Now, the next unit, again, is another family unit. This is what I like to call my empty unit, because I always think it's important for multi-unit housing or like apartment builds to at least leave one that's just fully like unfurnished, so you can literally make it however you want. You ain't gotta delete nothing. You could just come in and just park whatever you want. So if you want to have the story of like you literally just moved in, I even put little moving boxes here, so you can plan this out however you see fit. If you want the couch on this wall, you could do that. If you want couch or TV on this wall, you could do that. Heck, you could put a Murphy bed in here if you want to. It's just all available to you. And then we use the same fixtures from downstairs. The only difference is we like updated the cabinetry at the top. So we got the matching Parenthood set compared to the bottom, which was just the basic set. So yeah. And then you could pick out whatever dining room table you want in this build. But yes, basically it is the same as the one downstairs. And you can update the flooring if you want to. The bathroom is still here. You still get that ensuite. And I chose this apartment to be the repeat empty apartment because I thought it was nice. And it came with 3 bedrooms. So a lot of people in real life, they like viewing and touring an apartment or a house that is beige or off-white or just plain white, so that they can envision themselves in here, and they can paint it however they want or just leave it, and you really can't go wrong like that because you can match anything to this apartment. And yeah, literally it's just placeholder stuff. This is the I just moved in apartment. And got the air mattress right there. So yeah, I am considerate. I be thinking of gameplay and storyline of whatever you want to play out. It's the basic essentials only. That's all that's in here. It's not cluttered or anything. It's just literally this is what y'all got. So I love that. So that is our empty unit, our just moved in unit. Oh, also, I would love to know you guys' thoughts on just moved in units, because some people are like, oh, I'm all for that. I love when I could just move into a place and decorate it however I want. And then we have other players and simmers that are like, nope, just decorate it for me because I don't want to have to deal with it. I can't stand decorating. I want to know what you guys think, and like what do you guys opinions on it, and what do you prefer? I want to know everybody's preference at the bottom in the comments, so let me know. And also over here, our last unit. So again, this will be a duplicate of what's below us of the end apartment unit. So because it's the end of the apartment complex, this layout has a specific layout just like the bottom one. So let's get into it. And as you can tell, somebody cared to put a little mat out here. I don't think the other one's there. Oh, well, that one has a mat over there. Okay, well, you can tell there's somebody had some care in this one. All right, so Again, I wanted to make sure that my builds were diverse, and so my units had to be diverse. For this to be a mid-century build, I just thought it would be very tasteful to have an actual unit in here that was mid-century themed, as if it never got renovated at all. Like whatever tenant moved in back in that mid-century time in the 60s, they stayed here. They've been paying rent here since, and they kept it up in good condition. So I thought that would be a cool, like, twist on a unit. And I don't know if, we have the storyline of some grandparents here or just some elder Sims that just have this old retro apartment. You could also play up, if that person has moved out and maybe it was an elderly sim or elderly couple that were here and they have since moved out or passed on. You can have a mid-century enthusiast come in and it's like, I love it all. Don't touch a thing. I don't want to renovate anything. It's perfect as it is. So yeah, and that's a thing in this side of the world in California for real. And so it makes sense that you would find something like this in Del Sol Valley. And what's cool is that these furniture pieces, a lot of them came with the Get Famous pack. So yeah, it just made sense. So anyway, let's get into it. So of course, we got our entryway. We got a proper dining space at the entryway. So this would have been what the bottom unit would have looked like had it stayed in its original condition. Uh, let's just do a quick recall to the bottom unit. As you can tell, oh my gosh, I laugh at the difference because it's a shame in here. That's all I could say. It's such a shame in here. And the chair disappeared. Give me a second. This is the dining space for downstairs. We're just having to review. Like, you can even have someone just play up the just role play as just the neighbor that is just the neighbor you gotta watch out for. You can have it be the shady neighbor. I know we get the shady trait with the Sims 4 businesses and hobbies. So yeah, you might want to be up like, oh, they sticky fingers, don't trust them, because they might want to steal what you got to furnish their apartment. That may even be a good challenge for a storyline as well. But yeah, compared to down here, upstairs is way better. So yeah, let's go back up and look at this traditional classic unit. So again, this unit has a proper dining space. It has its curtain fixtures. Everything is clean and neat and in good condition. It may be old, but it's been well maintained. Let me get out of tab mode real quick. There we go. So you can see the actual furniture. We used, like I said, a lot of Get Famous. Why? Every time I get into tab mode, it want to delete what I got. Anyway. Oh, now it took away the dang. Why does it do that? Anyway, so I put a little record player in here because, of course, if you want to throw some parties here, you can. Or you just want to be that sim that wants to show off like, oh, I got this vintage style record player and it's a beauty. Come check it out. That person that just shows off all of their mid-century items, you can be that person. Let me see what else we got. We used a retro TV. Beautiful, stunning, and I love using this little clock for mid-century builds. This was the clock that came with what is that pack? The bowling pack, Get Bowling, something like that. This is the clock that came with that, and it's a lot of mid-century items that came with that. It's quite a few different packs that came with mid-century items. So I want to say the bowling pack came with a ton of it. Also, the Tiny Living stuff pack came with a lot of it, and a lot of this mid-century stuff is being reused today, and so some of it is like you can view it as modern as well. We used the retro TV that came with Eco Lifestyle, and of course the actual like furniture set came with Get Famous. And I put a little furnace over here, even though it's a faux furnace, like it's not furnace but a little fireplace. Yeah, just for, I imagine this is what all the units came with. But yeah, they've been, since knocked out and renovated. But yeah, this is so cool. I love the wood paneling. It just makes the place. And this dated green carpet. I've used this dated green carpet in other builds that I like to think of as old and retro looking. And yeah, let's get into the kitchen. Now, the thing about this kitchen is I really love how this version of the kitchen came out. Like, compared to downstairs, this is stunning and gorgeous. So, stunning and gorgeous as it relates to looking realistic and really portraying its being in its classic form of that 1960s era. So, you could tell at the time this would have been like a what do you call them, smeg refrigerator or something like that. Perfect. We use these teal appliances because that was a thing in the 60s of having like all your appliances matched. It was like a whole color thing. And yeah, we got these classic wood shelving cabinetry. Thank goodness we got a base game updated that gave we got a base game update that allowed extra swatches to these cabinets because we were struggling, y'all. But yeah, it's beautiful. Even got a little mat at the sink. And then the bathroom, I can show you what the bathroom was supposed to look like downstairs in its original form. Voila! Now this is a mid-century bathroom. We got this mid-century tile courtesy of what is the pack? Parenthood. So this is the Parenthood sink. This is the Parenthood wallpaper with tile. So this is retro tile indeed. You could only find tile like this in an old retro build because they don't make them like this no more. And of course, I went ahead and went with the Parenthood shower tub combo, like, because I felt like they're meant to go together. And it's mid-century, so why not? So that's what we did, and it is beautiful. To the point, very different from downstairs, because downstairs looks like it's struggling. It's a scream for help. Anyway, yeah, so that is our bathroom, one and only bathroom upstairs, and here is the one and only bedroom. So again, we went with the mid-century feel. So we had to have the mid-century style bed. This is the bed that came with the Get Famous pack. So it only made sense that I would put it in this retro build to use. So that's what we are looking at. And just like the build, just like the unit downstairs, this is the only room that has access to the outside. So we got, but this one is right off of a balcony, so there's a benefit to that. So as you can see, let me show you the rest of the room before I go out. As you can see, simple room to the point. It doesn't have a built-in closet, so it has the standalone one. And thank you to Peacemaker, I believe, who made that one. It came with a base game update, and it's very nice because it could give off retro vibes based off of the legs. As you can tell, the legs of this piece match the legs of a lot of the mid-century furniture you saw out in the dining room. All of them have like those slanted legs feel. But this is also a piece that's like so sleek and modern enough to fit in a modern day build as well. But yeah, last but not least, we'll go out into the balcony. So again, I like to think of this as someone who has well maintained their home over the years, and they even got their little setup here, their patio furniture. There's someone who takes care of their stuff, and they even got a little bar out here. Now I know this is random. Why did I even put a bar out here? Well, I think it matches the vibes, honestly. What I think happened is I was in build mode looking for mid-century items, and I came across this bar. I'm like, how could I not use this in a mid-century themed unit? And so I had no space in the actual like apartment unit, so I put it on the balcony. And it actually, I think is a great place for gameplay wise to just come out on the deck and just have a few drinks. So yeah, imagine you have some friends over for the day and you guys are just taking in the view, or just watching, the Outback party happen, you can just chill and have a few drinks upstairs. So I like that. And this sort of has that elderly touch to it. I feel like a bunch of elderly people are the type of people that have their porches be decked out. Like they got the best patio furniture because they are some sitters, and they will sit down and have the best on-looking day they can have. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So that is the last unit, our mid-century themed unit. Now this was very fun to pull off. Also, let me comment on these floors real quick. So I usually never pick these floors because I hate this style of flooring in real life. I've had these style of flooring growing up as a child in Chicago in like low income apartments. My gosh, you will see a lot of this because it's a dated apartment, right? That I've actually lived in units that were dated. They had updated fixtures, but like a lot of the times they still had this original stuff in bad condition. We got the bad condition states of the apartment unit, and I could not stand this flooring. It just tore me up. But it's cool to see it in the game and actually use it in a way that makes sense. So it makes sense that this old style flooring would be in here in its regular state, in good condition, nice and clean. So I was actually proud to see it here. So very cool. All right, so oh yeah, and I added this little mini bar. If you don't know, this is a bar that came with Vintage Glamour, and this was just a fun item to add. This is one of those quirky fun items that I thought about. Not the furniture disappearing again. This is one of those quirky items that I thought about. I'm like, the person who stays here would probably be a show off. They would probably brag about all the possessions that they own, not in a bad way, but just that they're happy with the way that they live. They're happy with their home, and they have this cool thing to show off too, and they can have drinks and pour it up, and all the feels. So yeah, love that. And that is our last unit, y'all. So that has been the apartment tours for this Mirage Park Dunes apartment building. So again, if you are interested in living on this lot with your Sims or playing out a storyline, feel free. We got all the amenities here for the gameplay that comes with for rent. We got all these different units with different personalities and styles, which have been made for your convenience, whether you're just playing in one unit or you're doing rotational gameplay. Even if you're just playing in that one unit, all these other units have lots of room for having neighbors with different personality types, and I feel like that would be fun. And I think that would be a really fun idea for a LP. I think I'm going to come up with an LP called The Neighbors, in which all these different neighbors with their personalities, we're going to do little storylines for. But yeah, anyway, if you would like this build, it is called Mirage Park Dunes. It is a 50 by 40 lot, and again, I uploaded it twice to the EA gallery. So it's uploaded once as a residential lot, just for convenience for whoever's interested, and then there's another version that is a residential rental. Same lot, it just includes the water heater and electrical box that will kind of kick off the for rent gameplay that is that is for the for rent pack, so you get the most gameplay out of this build. And again, my gallery ID is Mars Attack 12. You can find this build, Mirage Park Dunes, and a lot of other builds, community lots, parks, playgrounds, mansions, rec centers, camps, offices. It's a whole plethora of different things. So check out my gallery if you're interested, and then let me know your final thoughts on the build and what you thought about it, and what you were inspired by, what you liked, what you didn't like, whatever. I kind of want to hear it. I kind of want to hear it if you don't like something, or if you just like, yeah, you just want to share your thoughts on it. Like, come on, y'all, let's talk about it. I love connecting with other simmers, and I think this was a really fun build. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, bye.